The Civil War has started a while ago and now it is going on full power ahead. It is unfortunate, but I have been writing now for over a year that a civil war in France is imminent. France is like a big balloon ready to explode. I have seen the transformation of France after Mitterrand to another country. Francois Mitterrand opened the doors for immigration from different parts of the world without taking into consideration that the differences between the new immigrants and the French were too big without destroying the French culture and coming towards a civil war. From 1980 to 2023 and from Mitterrand to Macron has been a very dangerous and destructive journey. During Chirac and Sarkozy, the situation was handled with firmer responses thanks to Charles Pasqua, who was the Minister of Interior. There has been a growing fascism and dictatorship in the government of Hollande with its Prime Minister Manuel Valls and later with Macron. They are playing with fire in a country where kings lost their heads and were replaced very quickly. France is living in the scenario of Luc Besson's Banlieue 13. The old immigrants are now 100% French and they will need to respect and not differentiate laws from one French to another. Macron needs to be replaced very quickly before France becomes like the old Lebanon. Dictatorship does not work in France. I understand that Macron feels safe with the Rothschilds behind him, but they won't be able to save him unless he escapes from France to the UK or the US. This is now a new France. Look at the French World Cup champions. You cannot be proud when you win the World Soccer Championship and then disrespect and look upon the same people as third-class citizens as they did in Africa during the colonization. I lived in West Africa, North Africa, and France. I know inside out the French mentality and how they operate at their highest level. Mitterrand made a huge mistake and he destroyed France. Mitterrand should have helped France's ex-colonies to prosper by know-how transfer, agriculture, irrigations, and not stealing from Africa. They kept Africa poor in order to control and steal more from their ex-colonies. The CFA, which is the currency of the Afrique francophone, and it is printed in Lyon, France. Just from the top, France has been skimming 500 billion euros every year plus the rest from raw materials. Unfortunately, African leaders have been the worst enemies of their own people. They sold their country and their people in order to live like the French in their castles and luxurious cars. This is still going on in Africa, but countries like China, Turkey and Russia have been changing the dominance and the monopoly of France and the UK in Africa. France without Africa will be a poor nation. If by some miracle France and the UK would have paid back what they have stolen in the past, Africa would turn into one of the richest and prosperous continent on the planet. Like the president of South Africa told to the rest of the world and to Macron, Africans are not beggars. This is very true, but the ex-colonies turned them into beggars. I would ask African leaders to take their own responsibility to selling off and betraying their own people.